Hey guys, Shadow Reviewer here. Well, this is it. The big one. My ranking of the Avatar The Last Airbender Book 1 episodes ranked from worst to best. Okay? This list is just my opinion, and I'll be working off script here, so hopefully I've got every single detail of the episodes correct. So let's get on with it. And the award for the worst episode in this season goes to Number 20, Chapter 11, The Great Divide. What else does need to be said in this episode? The butchering of Aang's character enrages me. He lies to these two nations of tribes instead of thinking of another solution. Oh, and Katara and Sokka fighting throughout the episode does not help in this matters. Yes, they apologize, but we still have to fight through misery in order to get here. Is there anything I like in this episode? Well, when they work together, it's kind of cool, and the creatures are a bit freaky. So that's pretty much it. This episode's terrible. Next. Number 19, Chapter 15, Beto of the Water Tribe. Yet more character butchering of Aang's character. I sympathize with him a little bit, but not by much. This episode is just bad. I mean, Aang just concealed a valuable piece of information that Katara and Sokka could have to see their father again, and he decides to keep it for himself because he thinks they're going to abandon him. You are godly selfish. I have no sympathy for you. Can you honestly blame Sokka and Katara for leaving him like that? No, I don't. I'd be pissed too. I do like the subplot in this episode with Iroh and Zuko. But that's the only thing that saves this episode from ranking lower. But man, do we have to suffer through a pain load of misery, all because of Aang's selfish ass. Terrible. Number 18, Chapter 9, The Waterbending Scroll. Here we go from the butchering of Aang's character to the butchering of Katara's character. And this is the one and only time I hate her. So yeah, she risks her life, her brother's, and the Avatar's life from a band of pirates, all because of a waterbending scroll, so she can learn more waterbending. How ungodly selfish can you possibly get? Oh, not just selfish, but petty. And all of this because Aang actually does waterbending better than you do. You do realize he's the Avatar, right? Right? Hello? This is the reason you're traveling with him, right? To master the other elements other than airbending? Did you forget that, Katara? Oh, and she gets herself captured. Well done there. Honestly, Katara is terrible in this episode, and it pisses me off. Well, at least Sokka does the best thing here by tricking the pirates to turning against Zuko, and Iroh getting the best laughs. But it's still to make up for the fact that Katara put herself, her brother, and Aang's lives in danger because of her pettiness. This is terrible. Terrible, plain and simple. Number 17, Chapter 4, The Warriors of Kyoshi. Here we go from the butchering of Katara's character to the butchering of Sokka's character. Yeah, we're going through that. And thank God this is the last time. So, I hate misogyny. Plain and simple. From both the women's side and the men's side. Yeah, I support both. I'm not choosing one. And Sokka being misogynistic to the Kyoshi warriors, especially the leader Suki, just feels unwanted and needed. So you got your ass kicked by a girl. Big whoop. It's not uncommon anymore. And while yes, he apologizes and actually accepts the fact that can be equal to girls. No, sorry. Girls can be equal to boys. It still doesn't make up for the fact that he's very misogynistic. Oh, and Aang doesn't exactly help much either. Although, to be fair, the fangirls fanning over him gets a few decent laughs. And the fight between Aang and Zuko when Zuko eventually finds the place is legit cool. But the rest of it is just misogynist. misogyny at its worst. And trust me, it is not the last time we'll be talking about it. Number 16, Chapter 10, Jet. I get what they were going with this. To destroy the many to save the few. But this is a bad way of doing it. So, Katara and Aang mocking Sokka's gut instinct feels out of place. And it outright annoys me. So I get it. Sokka can be overbearing at times, but he's actually trying to be serious here. You're really gonna mock him at this time? Whatever. And Jet and his friend of ours seem off. And it eventually starts when they attack an old man who happens to be, well, Fire Nation, and I don't know, it all goes downhill from there, and not in a good way. I'll give Sokka credit here. He pretty much becomes the smartest person in the episode. Not only seeing through Jet's bullcrap, but also saving lives. As he doesn't go to the dam to start to blow up, he saves he warns the village, and thanks to help from the old man from earlier, he succeeds. Well done, Sokka. You should be patting yourself on the back for that. So yeah, this episode's kind of miserable. Not terrible. Again, I get the message, but it feels unforced. Okay, so here we go from the bad. We've done with the bad episodes. Now let's get to the good and bad episodes, the 50-50. And there's only 2 on this list, so thank God. Number 15, Chapter 5, The King of Umashu. Okay, so before I get to the bad stuff, let's get to the good. Bumi is a lot of fun here. I mean, he seems to be a frail old man at first. He's a badass earthbender, and I like him. His fight with Aang is pretty sweet. And I like the challenges that Aang has to go through. It gets him to think, and in a ton of fun ways. And I like the tensity with Katara and Sokka slowly being encased in an ice prison. That's legit cool. But what nails it down here is the twist. Bumi is actually Aang's friend from 100 years ago. Yeah, that seems pretty damn obvious. I mean, he was shown in a flashback, and he's an earthbender. Yeah, you can put the two of them together. But yeah, that's the only bad thing I didn't like about this episode. Too damn obvious twist. Number 14, Chapter 18, The Waterbending Master. Okay, so, like with the last entry, let's get to the good stuff. The fight between Katara and Master Parker is freaking great. I love Sokka's romance with Princess Yue. Yeah, that's pretty much it I've got. They're the good stuff. Now let's get to the bad. Master Parker's character. He outright annoys me. And remember when I said about I hate misogyny? Yeah, it happens here too. Master Parker refuses to train Katara because she's a girl. Wow, how petty can you possibly get? She just wants to learn waterbending and you refuse to train because she's a girl? No! And honestly, I'm with Katara here. All the bullcrap he's put her through, it's just stupid. Just utterly stupid. Even after showing that she's a kick-ass warrior, he refuses to train her. Wow, how petty can you possibly get? You gotta beat her down. You gotta beat her while she's down too? Wow. But I'll give him some credit. He actually changes his mind when he realizes her connection to his lover, to his ex-fiance. That's legit sweet. I'll give him that. But still, we have to sit through his misogynistic bullcrap. All because Katara's a girl. Seriously. I thought we were done with this nonsense. But thank God. At least he came up with a good reason. Okay, so now we've gone from the 50-50 episodes that are good and bad to the competently made episode. So let's continue. Number 13, Chapter 6, Imprisoned. Now let's get... Honestly, this one is really good. Really good. So, Katara is honestly such a sweetheart here. She pretty much fakes earthbending in order to try and rescue Haru, his father, and a tribe of earthbenders who were captured by the Fire Nation because they were illegal earthbending. Honestly, Katara is such an awesome badass as she tries to get the earthbenders to stand up and fight against them, but absolute hopelessness. She fails the first time, but the second time leads to a great fight. My only problem with this episode is the tone whiplash. Now, yes, I like the serious tone. That was well handled. The comedic tone, however, yeah, there's a scene where the prison warden knocks the captain off the ship, and we're supposed to laugh at this. No, it feels out of place. Either pick a tone and stick with it. You can't combine both, unless that's the actual intention. But nevertheless, it's a pretty good episode. Number 12, Chapter 1, The Boy and the Iceberg. Okay, so I love the way this first episode sets up the rest of the show. The story is well done. The characters are freaking well established and fun, and the animation still holds up to this day. I love how its 5 main leads are set up. Aang is chilled back and cool. Katara is smooth and loving. Sokka is more serious and tries to keep orders in check. Zuko and stiff but and very focused, while Iroh's laid back and chill. So honestly, the story that's set up here is perfectly done. Absolute perfectness. Number 11, Chapter 17, The Northern Air Temple. Now, at first I didn't like this episode for the way Aang is characterized here. I mean, I get it. Deconsecrating our sacred temple can be annoying at times. But there's a good and a bad way to do it. And what they did here in this episode is good. And I like the message of change can be good if used to the right purposes. And they do that here. I do like the tribe here. They seem like generally good people. Particularly the father, what he does for his paraplegic son. And I do like the dark twist here that he's making weapons for the Fire Nation. And even after being exposed for that, Team Avatar are willing to help him when the Fire Nation comes to destroy the temple. I love the fight here. From the bending to Sokka throwing bombs down at them. Stink bombs, mind you. Appa helps out once in a while. And honestly, the fight here is freaking great. So it's a fairly fun episode with a lot of kickassery in there. So here we are, folks. The top 10. Here we go from great episodes to perfect episodes. So what starts out the final stretch? Number 10, Chapter 7, Winter Solstice Part 1, The Spirit World. I love the setup here. The monster here is pretty damn freaky as it takes people in the night. And despite all of that, and yes, even Sokka gets taken in this episode, I love the townspeople's faith in Aang. I mean, even if he's inexperienced. And I love the animation when he eventually transfers to the spirit world. It's beautifully done. Absolute perfection. I don't know how they did it, but it's gorgeous. And I love the twist that this monster is actually, well, Avatar Roku's spirit animal, a panda. Generally sweet. And I love the cliffhanger in this episode, where Aang tells Katara and Sokka that not only do they need to go to this temple by the time the moon sets, but it's in Fire Nation territory. Oh boy. So that leads to a fantastic cliffhanger. Love this episode, top-notch stuff. Number 9, Chapter 14, The Fortune Teller. Yeah, I love the setup in this episode. Aunt Wu is a great character. She seems laid back, chill, and she's pretty fun. Especially when the townspeople rely on her for fortunes. Honestly, the side characters here are fun, particularly that chick who has a crush on Aang. And then speaking of Aang, he has a crush on Katara, and it's just damn sweet. It's so cute and adorable. Kidorable, if you will. Yeah, I made up that word, it's mine. Honestly, I love the way he tries to and get Katara's attention. And even she realizes it at first when she's told that a powerful bender will be the one she marries. And Katara here, man, it gets really funny as she tries to get the fortune teller to tell her how she dresses and she should eat. It gets pretty funny. Oh, and Sokka, well done. Honestly, I love when he tries to exploit Aunt Wu's wacky theories of how to predict the future, and even after being exposed, they still don't believe her. God, his face when he tells them I hate you is so damn funny. So overall, I think it's a really underrated episode. Give this one a watch, you won't be disappointed. Number 8, Chapter 2, The Avatar Returns. Honestly, this is a great follow-up to episode 1. I mean, Aang in this episode does pretty much a real fun here. He realizes he's putting people in danger and decides to go quietly. And you can feel Katara's sadness as, well, the only person that could teach her is gone. And I like Sokka here too, as he also realizes, well, Aang could actually save the world and stop the 100-Year War. So he and Katara decide to team up with Appa to save Aang. And the fight between Aang and Zuko is freaking well done. The way they fight on the ship, the way Aang unknowingly goes into the Avatar state to knock out the ship is freaking well done stuff. Top-notch stuff. Absolutely love it. Number 7, Chapter 13, The Blue Spirit. I love the intensity in this episode, and the twists surrounding the Blue Spirit's character. So, Katara and Sokka are sick, so Aang goes out to find a cure. Except he gets captured by Admiral Zhao and the Fire Nation, and there's sadly no one coming to help him. So, a character known as the Blue Spirit comes in, and I do love they instantly team up to try and get out of there. And honestly, everything that's done here is absolute perfection. From the animation to the fight, to his credit, Admiral Zhao being pretty damn smart. Oh, and the twist, spoiler alert here if you want to skip, unless you've watched the episode already, Zuko is actually the Blue Spirit. And I love the reasoning Zuko has here. He wants to bring the Avatar first so he can bring his honor back to his father. And we'll see why in the previous episode, which we'll get to, don't worry. And honestly, this is another pretty underrated episode. I recommend giving this a watch. It's really well done. And yes, Aang eventually does get the cure back to his friends. Their reactions are pretty funny. It may look disgusting, but it's actually good. Good for you. Number 6, Chapter 16, The Deserter. Talk about an episode that goes places. Wow. Okay, so Aang wants to learn firebending pretty damn fast, I must add, and he goes to actually a fight to an ex-Navy Fire Nation soldier for that. And Aang throughout this episode pretty much learns a really valuable lesson: patience. And they go to some really extremes to drill it into his brain, as he accidentally hurts Katara with the firebending. And I'll give Sokka credit here. He does exactly what he wants to do if assembling a mine was gonna get hurt. Pretty much verbally berate them. And Katara here is also freaking great, as she knows that Aang didn't mean it and goes to comfort him when he doesn't want to learn firebending anymore. And I do like the twist here that the ex-Fire Nation soldier student was actually Admiral Zhao, which, no surprise. And speaking of Aang using Admiral Zhao's anger to his advantage, it leads to a funny moment where he pretty much teases him to pretty much burn his ships to the ground. Honestly, Aang learns a pretty harsh lesson and becomes really smart all in the same episode. It's truly well done stuff. So yeah, I like the message in this episode. Patience. Very well done patience. And the way they do it is very good. So yeah, a great episode. Truly awesome episode all around. Now on to the top 5. Number 5, Chapter 8, Winter Solstice Part 2, Avatar Roku. Okay. This is where it gets to pretty much decent episodes, and this is the start of it. What else is there to say here? It's freaking good. It's freaking great. The start of the episode is fantastic. And from all 3 sides, from Admiral Zhao to the Fire Nation, to Team Avatar and Appa in the sky, to Prince Zuko and Aiko Iroh, slowly chasing after him. It's a 3-way fight that is beautifully done. And again, Admiral Zhao, being the smart as he is, decides to not fire at Zuko's ship and decides to follow them instead. And it leads to a pretty intense scene as they get into the Fire Nation territory and they actually get help from a Fire Nation from a firebender as well to let him get inside. And it leads to a pretty clever thing. Very clever ideas. I like Sokka's. Sure, yes, it failed miserably, but it's not half bad. At least it's an attempt. And as soon as their plan begins to work, Zuko actually captures Aang. And you think it was going to fail, but no. It not only did it work, and it leads to a pretty awesome scene as Roku tells Aang that he needs to learn water, earth, and fire in only 3 months to stop Sozin's comet coming to Earth. It's a beautifully done animation scene, and I love that Avatar Roku helps Aang fend off Zhao and his Fire Nation forces. And unfortunately, the firebender that helped Team Avatar out unfortunately gets punished. It goes to show that not everyone leaves unscathed. So yeah, this was a pretty great episode. Number 4, Chapter 3, The Southern Air Temple. Alright, so how they laid out in this episode is perfectly done with its 2 separate plots. The first one with Aang going back to his home turf and reminiscing about the good old times with his master Gyatso. And I like that Katara and Sokka, well, mostly Katara, not wanting to tell Aang the Fire Nation soldiers have been here and wiped out his master and the other airbenders. And the scene where Aang finds out is beautifully done, from the way it's from his face to the animation to him pretty much losing all control of his power. And I love that Katara and Sokka, even though they just known him for 2 episodes, immediately go to tell him that they'll be there for him no matter what. It's beautifully done, and I teared up a little bit. Even the subplot with Admiral Zhao's first appearance is also well done. He eventually finds out that Zuko, that the Avatar is alive and wants to capture him for himself, but it leads to a pretty awesome fight between Zhao and Zuko. Agni Kai, if you will. And I like Ira in this episode, after Zuko wins the fight, that he knocks Zhao on his ass when he tries to backstab Zuko. Fire-stepping Zuko? Yeah, definitely. Fire-stepping Zuko. There's still a bit of honor in there. It's a pretty fun moment. So yeah, this episode is just great. Absolutely great. Number 3, Chapter 19, The Siege of the North, Part 1. Alright, so here we go from pretty much perfect episodes. These top 3 episodes are perfect. It starts all great with Master Parker being a better character. Thank you. To pretty much the fight between the Fire Nation and the Northern Water Tribe. The animation between the water and fire is beautifully done. And again, the animation when Aang goes in the spirit world is spot on beautiful. Sokka and Princess Yui's romance is still going strong, even better here, as she realizes that her love for Sokka is too strong for them to be together. It's really tragic, and unfortunately it gets worse from here. Oh, and the highlight of it all, Zuko and Katara's fight. Goddamn, is Katara freaking awesome, badass, and I freaking love her, yes! And it gets even more sadder when she is defeated by Zuko and he takes Aang. What a note to end on. Honestly, this episode is freaking awesome. Absolutely love it. Number 2, Chapter 20, The Siege of the North, Part 2. Now to even possibly the best out of the 3-parter in this season. Everything about this is freaking fantastic. Aang going into the spirit world and getting help from Avatar Roku and facing Korra the Face Stealer. Oh god, that scene, my god, it's so disturbing. If you're arachnophobic, stay away from that scene. My god, it's so ungodly unnerving. The way he goes from to this, honestly, one wrong move and Aang could be dead. Very well done animation and very unnerving. And Sokka and the princess's romance comes to a sad, tragic end when the princess has to sacrifice her life. God damn, you can feel Sokka's pain. Oh, I feel bad for you, man. Oh, and this is Admiral Zhao at his best. Pretty much, he kills one of the fish so the Fire Nation can win. What an evil monster. His fight with Zuko is also great. And the moment where Admiral Zhao realizes that he screwed up and decides not to get saved by Zuko is pretty great face animation. Honestly, everything about this episode is great. Aang is also freaking great in this episode. As even though Zuko kidnapped him, he decides to save him. That goes to show that not only is Aang one of the best characters in cartoon media, he has a conscience. Even Zuko knows that as he backs off at the end of the season. Oh, and like can we say, it leads to one of the best cliffhangers of all time, as Azula is revealed. And we'll see her as the main antagonist in season 2. Awesome ending. Perfect. Too bad the movie butchered it. Anyway. So, have you been keeping track? Do you know what's left? Well, here we go. In what I consider my number 1 favorite episode of all time in this season goes to number 1, Chapter 12, The Storm. Everything this episode sets up is perfect. Aang's story in here, as we get finally the backstory of why he ran away, is perfect. First, he gets berated by an old guy who, yes, brings up a pretty brutal point. I mean, he's not exactly wrong. It's revealed that Aang ran away because he couldn't face up to the fact that he's going to be the next Avatar in line. And it honestly breaks him realizing that if he stayed there, he could have died too. Wow. The setup for Aang's character and Katara being there with him, even though he just told her something really disturbing and tragic, she's still there for him. That's beautiful character writing. Oh, and Zuko's character writing is beautifully done here. As he gets berated by the lieutenant on the ship, Iroh tells them the story of why Zuko became this way. Because he spoke out of turn during a Fire Nation meeting, and unfortunately, when he's challenged to Agni Kai, it is not the guy that he spoke up to. It's his own father. And Zuko doesn't want to fight, pretty much leaves them both mentally and physically scarred. Honestly, the scene where Zuko gets his face burnt off is disturbing. And Iroh turning away pretty much says it all. And yes, canonically, this is actually Zula's first appearance on the episode. Not many people seem to know that. I just want to bring that little detail. It's pretty awesome. And I love the way its two plot lines are set up. Aang and Katara go out into the storm to help Sokka, who's helping the old guy from earlier, and Zuko helping the helmsman who's actually in physical danger. I love the way these two stories are set up. It pretty much makes you root for the protagonist and to sympathize with your villain. This is how you do your characters, and it is beautifully perfect. So, Chapter 12, The Storm, is my number one favorite Avatar, The Last Airbender Book 1 episode of all time. I just hope the next two seasons can top it. So, that's my ranking of the Avatar Book 1 episodes from worst to best. I hope you liked this video. Comment down below if you want more videos like this. Like and subscribe. Tomorrow, I've got two videos coming up. My Avatar Book 1 review and my review of Sonic X Shadow Generations. But first, in the next couple of hours, later tonight, I'll be ranking the Sonic X Shadow Generations levels combined from worst to best. I'll explain in a bit. Until then, I'm the Shadow Reviewer, signing off.